Every morning, the crows arrive in my yard like clockwork. Loud, curious, always watching. Some grab pieces of bread and fly away immediately. Others fight over fruit scraps or leftover crumbs scattered beside the wall. The entire backyard becomes noisy for a few minutes. Flapping wings, sharp calls, tiny battles over food. But one crow behaves differently. It never rushes, never fights, never panics. Instead, it waits, quietly, watching everything from above. At first, I barely noticed it. The crow usually stayed on the electric wire near the tree, far from the chaos below. While the others scrambled for food, this one simply observed, almost like it was thinking. And then one morning, Abby saw it do something so unusual, something so strangely deliberate, that I could not stop thinking about it afterward. The crow picked up a dry piece of bread from the ground. Not fresh bread, not soft bread, the hard pieces the other birds ignored. Then it walked slowly toward the water bowl, sitting near the plants. At first, I thought it was thirsty, but instead of drinking, the crow lowered the bread into the water. Only for a moment. Then lifted it back out, then dipped it again, slowly, carefully, over and over, until the bread became soft. Only then did the crow fly away to the top of the wall and peacefully eat its meal in silence. The first time I witnessed this, Abby assumed it was random, maybe an accident. But the next morning, the exact same thing happened again. And the morning after that, again. That was the moment I realized something important. This crow was not acting on instinct alone. It was solving a problem. And somehow, right there in an ordinary backyard, Abby was watching intelligence unfold in real time. Most people think of crows as noisy birds, annoying birds, common birds. But if you spend enough time quietly observing them, you begin to notice something unsettling. Crows are always studying the world around them, the food, the environment, the sounds, the routines of humans, even danger. They pay attention in ways most animals do not. And once you notice it, you cannot unsee it. This particular crow seemed different from the others from the very beginning. It always arrived early, usually alone. Sometimes perched silently in the tree while the sun was barely rising. Other times balanced carefully on the wall, tilting its head as if examining every movement in the yard. And unlike the other crows, it rarely wasted energy, while the younger birds fought aggressively over fresh food. This crow waited for the noise to settle, almost strategically. Then it descended quietly, no panic, no rush, straight toward the dry bread left behind. Food the others considered useless, hard, dry, difficult to swallow, but somehow not useless to this crow, because this crow had discovered something remarkable. Water changes everything. One morning, I decided to watch more carefully. I stayed near the window without making noise. The crow landed beside the bowl and grabbed a stiff piece of chapati. Then slowly, it dipped the edge into the water, lifted it, turned it slightly, dipped it again. The movements were controlled, intentional, almost practiced, and after several seconds, the bread softened completely. Only then did the crow carry it to a shaded branch and begin eating comfortably. No struggle, no aggressive pecking, no difficulty swallowing, just patience and intelligence. What amazed me most was not the action itself. It was the understanding behind the action. At some point in its life, this crow learned a connection. Hard food becomes easier to eat after soaking in water. That realization may sound simple to us, but in nature, tiny discoveries can completely change survival. And once an animal learns something useful, it remembers. Scientists have spent years studying crow intelligence, and what they discovered shocked even researchers. Crows can recognize human faces. They remember threats, they solve puzzles, they use tools. Some species even bend wires into hooks to retrieve food. Others drop nuts onto roads so cars can crack them open. And perhaps most fascinating of all, crows can teach each other. Knowledge spreads through their groups almost like culture. But reading about crow intelligence online is one thing. Watching it happen quietly in your own backyard feels completely different, because suddenly the bird stops feeling ordinary. You begin seeing intention in every movement, awareness in every glance. And over time, you realize the crow may also be watching you just as carefully. The strange thing is, after several weeks, This crow seemed completely comfortable around me, not tame, not friendly, but familiar. It recognized the routine. The sound of the door opening, the placement of the water bowl, even the time food usually appeared. Sometimes it arrived before I even stepped outside, waiting silently on the fence. And that is when I started wondering something unsettling. How much do these birds actually remember? Research suggests the answer is far more than we once believed. Scientists discovered that crows can remember specific human faces for years, not days, not weeks. Years. They can identify people who helped them and people who threatened them. Some studies even showed groups of crows warning each other about dangerous humans long after the original encounter happened. Imagine that for a moment. A bird remembering your face, telling other birds about you, passing information across generations. Suddenly those dark eyes watching from the tree feel very different, because maybe the crow in the backyard is not simply surviving. Maybe it is constantly learning, adapting, studying the world around it, including us. And perhaps that explains why this tiny daily ritual feels so strangely emotional. Because for a few seconds, the distance between human and wild animal disappears. You are no longer watching a simple bird. You are witnessing another intelligent creature making decisions, solving problems, building routines, and shaping its own survival story. Just like we do, some mornings the crow arrives during soft rain. The leaves drip quietly in the wind, while the water bowl reflects the gray sky above. The crow lands beside it without fear, picks up the dry bread, dips it carefully, and flies away. Other mornings the sunlight is bright and harsh. The yard feels hot and silent, but still, the ritual continues, always the same, always deliberate. And somehow, that tiny repeated action changed the way I see birds forever, because intelligence in nature is usually quiet. It does not announce itself loudly. It hides in ordinary moments most people ignore. A crow softening bread in water, a bird remembering a face, a silent creature adapting to the world one small discovery at a time. And maybe that is why moments like this stay with us. They remind us that the natural world is far more aware, far more complex, and far more intelligent than we often realize. Now, every time I place food outside, I secretly wait for that crow to appear. The patient one, the clever one, the crow that turns hard bread soft before eating. And every single time it performs that tiny ritual, I feel like I am witnessing a hidden piece of nature most people walk past without ever noticing, quickly happening right outside our windows. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Backyard Bird Mysteries for more hidden secrets of the birds living all around us. And next time a crow lands nearby, watch carefully, because you may not be the only one observing.